So this is August 20th at 3:51 p.m. The market is about to close in about 9 minutes. I just wanted to show you how I saw, like, the little plays, like certain plays, like some of these that you see already on the ready to buy. You see these like NVO, AEM, PayPal, even Gato Silver. So you see Eli Lilly there, DYN. So what I'll do is I'll just show you how I look through their numbers, look how to research them, just to see if they're actual buy. So because you mentioned DYN in the chat, I'm gonna go straight to DYN, and then already we see their chart. It's a uptrending chart, inclining all the way. When we look at the chart, right, this looks like a strong ass buy. When we look at the chart, we start to look at some of these technicals, like the MACD and the RSI, right? So first we see it made a new high. Today it made a new high. That's the first thing that we need to take note of. Typically when a stock makes a new high, the next day we wait for it to pull back so we can get a better entry. Usually that better entry is where the 5 EMA is. The 5 EMA is going to be your absolute support. We'll get into absolute supports a little bit later on, but we'll get with that 5 EMA. We'll see that the average EMA in green right here to the left is a 45.73. Right now it's trading at $46.99, damn near $47. So we know that the downside risk is at least $1.25, bare minimum, right? So we're keeping that in mind, right? What we'll end up doing is still going further down with the technicals. We see that one is trading above that 5 EMA, right? The second thing is that the MACD has crossed. The MACD is now showing, let me see if I can use my stylus here. The MACD is now showing that it crossed here, right? So they're showing that the trend is starting to uptrend. Also, the histograms are showing that there is buying opportunity, or at least the bullish opportunity for it to start going up. The RSI also suggests that it's not overbought, but it's trending towards that overbought line. So if we get a rejection of overbought tomorrow, that'll be better than it just breaking out today. So we'll hope for a little pullback sometime tomorrow for a better entry for a better entry. Then we also use the TTM squeeze. The TTM squeeze also shows that there's upsending bullish sentiment here, right? So once we see that these green histogram lines are starting to increase a little bit more, it's showing uptrend for this stock. All right. So with that being said, now that we know what the 5 EMA price is, which is $1.25 below, right, its current trading price, what we'll do is we'll start to go to bar charts. So bar charts is a good, where am I? Bar chart is a good site to really see a lot of technicals. So this first one, like we said, is DYN. We come here, we tap on DYN, seeing its options are available as well. So what we'll see is that one is showing us the range that it did on the day, right, where it opened at. You see that it came down to its low of 45.19 and went to a high of 47.26. So when we scroll all the way down, right, we see the fundamentals, we see the overview. When we scroll down, we see that there's a strong buy. That's indicator number one. It's a strong buy. No one wants you to sell it. All 10 representatives want you, or the analysts want you to buy it. Then the bar chart technical opinion is that it's a strong buy, right? So as this is a strong buy, it still gives you a business summary that is a muscle disease company focusing on advanced innovation, life transforming therapies for patients with genetic driven diseases, right? So that's the next thing. The last thing that we'll look for here are the turning points, these support and resist levels. So we see that the first support level is at 44.84, right? That's $2 below where it's currently trading at. Remember that we said that the 5 EMA is the initial support level, right? And that 5 EMA, once again, just to say it out loud because I think I forgot low-key, is 45.70. And yes, that price will change as the price action occurs. 45.70. So now that we have 45.70, I gotta go all the way back now. Now that we have 45.70 as our immediate support level, based off of the moving average on price action, the support level from that 45.70 is another dollar below that, right? So no matter what, it's about $2 on the downside. Then the first resistance point is $47.07, right? So once this price, this 46.88, starts to trade above that first resistance point, then we know that we have more upside. The third resistance point is 49.30. So if we're looking for options, we want to find an option price that's above here. So we see that 49.30 is that option price. The best thing that I recognize, or a little mathematical equation that I was given by Trap, is that we use the plus 15 percentage. So from the currently trading price, right, 46.88, we'll say, the current trading price, 46.88 plus 15%, we're looking for 53.91, right? 53.91 is 15% of the current trading price, meaning that we're looking for a call option out of the money. So since we're looking for a call option out of the money, we're gonna, instead of, let's look at September first, right? So September, wow, I'm not seeing any type of open entrance or volume that would speak to it. And the same thing with October, not seeing anything really. Let me just click on it. Let me see, maybe it's just not popping up. Yeah, open interest of 5, that's nothing. We need something more than that. So this is probably not the best options to choose from. All right, so I did see you pop up with a message on Reddit, for Reddit, I should say. Why is it not letting me? There we go. So we'll go for Reddit. And we'll see Reddit. We'll do the same process here. Reddit. I love the fact that it came down and went through phase 4. If you forgot your phases, right? Phase 1 is where they start to do accumulation. Accumulation was happening right around here at this $37 mark. So we started to accumulate. Then it went through phase 2. And then from phase 2, you could say that right here is phase 3, where it levels off before coming back down to phase 4. And then accumulates again, phase 1. Goes up, phase 2. Finds that moment of resistance. That's phase, really 3. And then comes back down, phase 4. Finds that accumulation again, phase 1. Goes to phase 2, right? And then it found this leveling off at phase 3. Comes all the way back down to phase 4. And phase 4 is right here, accumulating near $50 and $55 a share. So now that it's back on phase 1, just by mentioning those phases, it should go back up again. So we look at the technicals again. We see that the MACD is just starting to cross. That's what. Well, first let's look at this, the 5 EMA. The 5 EMA, we see that it is trading below the 5 EMA. Oh no, it just crossed above the 5 EMA. Sorry. So it's at 54.78 right here. So since it closed above the 5 EMA, right? It closed at $55.02. We want to now see where the MACD is. The MACD is showing that it crossed, but it also showed that it had a little peak above the 0 line for a bullish upswing. Once we see that, we want to check out the RSI, see where it's at as relative strength. His relative strength is right above 40. It's no longer oversold. It's approaching an area that some would typically say that a place that you can buy at, especially bouncing off that 30, coming to 40. The only downside here is that the TTM squeeze still shows some selling pressure is available. So this might be that moment of accumulation where the price action might trade somewhere between this 50 and 55. Maybe it does trade above 55 since it closed above 55 on the day, but I wouldn't 100% suggest that it will start trading near 57, 58, or even $60 a share. It will just trade somewhere around here where it continue to accumulate. And like I said, it agrees with what the MACD is saying, that yes, even though it had a green day today, it's showing bullish, it's crossed, it's showing a change in momentum, it's no longer oversold, it's slightly bought, but this TTM squeeze doesn't agree, right? So we know that there's still some selling pressure there. So before we go to the options chart, let's go back to our bar chart. And in the bar chart, we'll go ahead and type it in. We'll type in Reddit. We'll see. We'll type in Reddit, where we'll get RDDT. We type that in. We start to scroll on down, see what is being said about it. There's a moderate buy here. 15 different analysts, one with a strong sell. I try to see how many strong sells there are. 6 with holds, 7 strong buy, 1 with a moderate buy. Would this convince me to buy this? Not really. They're kind of like ambiguous on, with that buying and hold. There's just as many people that want to hold as buy. But that's fine. Like, it's still showing that there is some type of upside. I didn't see any analysts. There was something that I'm not seeing here. Maybe it's a technical. That's what it is. The technical part. The technical analyst was saying if it's a bull or a bear. So right now we're still going to go with the valuation of it being a bull. And then we see that its supportive price is at 52.93. Its first level resistance is at 55.34. So once it starts trading above that 55.34, we are anticipating more upside. But right now we see that the potential of downside is about at least $2 and 7 cents, right? So we have a $2 downside, easy, maybe 10 cents. So we have a $2 of downside. The moment of resistance is only 30 cents above, 32 cents. So, the risk reward is not really in your favor here. Risk reward would be close to that $52 area. And you see that level, you see the supports, right? The third level of support, $50. The second level, the first level of support, $52. Where's it trading at? $55. When we go back to the chart, what did we say? $50 was at that part of phase 1, where people were buying between $50 and $55. That happened, right? So the technical chart is also telling you at the turning points. So there you go with the technicals. Now, when it comes to checking out the options, once again, we want to have something that's outside of that third resistance. And the reason why that third level resistance point is so critical here is because when we pick an option contract that's above there, then we have more upside, right? Key point is PayPal. PayPal did that today, right? We can just check it out. Right? We know that PayPal closed about $72 today. Use it as a prime example. We started coming down. You see, look at all this. Hold on. Before I know I'm scrolling all that. Bar chart technical opinion, strong buy. The moderate buy between 41 analysts, right? 22 hold. 2 moderate buys, 60. That 22 hold is just damn near, might as well say that they're all buying. They're just holding. They don't want to sell. They don't want to buy anymore, but they're just going to hold and wait. You know. So when we come down and we check, the third level of resistance was 71.16, right? So knowing that it went to $72 today, and then knowing that it closed above 71.16 today, only shows that there's possibly more upside to come, right? And even if we did it on the 52 week, we see that 72.56 is the next level, right? So maybe the 52 week is much better than using the daily. But even on the daily, we still can see that picking an option contract above that third level of resistance is still much better, right? The 52 week high is I think that was created today, quite honestly. I think that 52 week high was created today. So we're still going to use the daily key turning points. That's what Trap uses. That's what I'm going to continue to use. So outside of this, what we will do now is go, and yes, I go to incognito for Guru Focus, so they don't have to ask me if I want to do this and that and that and this to be able to use this actual website. But we see that Guru Focus, it shows their score. Their score shows 22. What their score is based upon is profitability, growth, financial strength, momentum, and a GF value. Really don't use a GF value. Yeah, those pop-ups are going to happen. But when you start to see, you scroll down, the profitability rank is 1. The financial strength is really strong. It's 8 out of 10, right? The GF factor, not really worried about, but their growth rank, they're not even, because they're still very new. So do they have a history of having growth? Not really. Do they have a history of momentum? Not really. But do they have a history of financial strength? Yes. So that out of all those factors that we use, these 5 factors, only really one of them is showing us something, right? As opposed to when we go to PayPal, I'm using PayPal as an example because that's what was traded today, or that's what I sold today, I should say, right? They have a score of 98. When you come down, right, this is what you want to see. Their financial strength is 7. Their profitability rank is 10. Their GF value, I don't even care what it is, but it's 10, right? Their growth rank is 10. Their momentum is 7. These are things that are helpful in observing their fundamentals, right? So we come to Guru Focus for their fundamentals. We go to bar chart for the technicals. And then we always go to FinViz, right? Just to find out more information, particularly with their heat map. The map is definitely going to be one of those things that you will get to see where the market is rewarding. Today we saw that the market was rewarding technology. We saw that it was rewarding healthcare. We saw that it was rewarding, we saw that it was rewarding a little bit of communications, not so much. A little bit of consumer cyclicals, right? A little bit of consumer defensive, right? Here with Walmart and Costco and PG, right? And so we see that it was rewarding some of these key places. So that's what we want to use it for a whole lot more. We also want to come to its 1-year performance, see where the market is rewarding. And when we look all around, the market has been rewarding technology, financials, communications, healthcare, consumer cyclicals. Really hasn't been rewarding energy as much. Really hasn't been rewarding basic materials as much. It has been, but not everywhere. But healthcare, communication, services, consumer cyclical, consumer defensive, technology, of course, right? Financials. That's what has been rewarding. And then we can go in here and kind of just research the stock a little bit more, right? We'll get more news of the stock. You'll see some of the upgrades of the stock, right? They'll always give, their performance. Chad, they will always tell us like what part of the heat map it's a part of. Like, so it's part of communication services, internet, content, and information. That's the industry it's in, the sector that it's in, right? Some of the ETFs that hold it, right? Like VTI, that's a great ETF, the ARK, right? ARK Financials, or ARK, ARKF. I think that's the same one. I'm not 100% sure. Now, this is the news. This is the news. This is the news. This is the news. I like this, but I also like where it tells us about the insider buying and selling. I think that's just as important. And then it'll tell you, of course, like what it is, what is Reddit, how it operates as an entertainment, social networking, right? So these are the things. So with Reddit, we saw that it closed around $55. So what we want to do is find an option contract that's 15% of that. So we see the 63.25, right? So when we come 63.25, we'll come here. Maybe we don't want to do it in September. I'm looking at October and beyond. I'm not seeing a lot of volume, not seeing a lot of open interest. All right, so let's go to September. Let's see if there's anything. Is it just not showing on here? Like, that's wild. Hold on, there has to be. Yeah, okay, it's just not showing on this, but I don't know why it's not showing right now. But we said that the price we wanted was 63.25, right? So we'll come down here to 63. 63, we see an open interest of 0 and a volume of 2. So we don't want that. We want an open interest that's at least going to show us 4 digits, right? Like 4, like 1,000 and something, 2,000, 3,000, something higher the better, right? So let's go back to October. We'll come to 65 real quick. Let's see what's over there. 65 is showing us 443 open entrance. The delta is 28. That's not horrible. Wish it was a little bit better. The theta is significantly low at 3 cents, right? There's a gap, a 20-cent gap between the bid and the ask, but the volume is low. The open interest is low. So I wouldn't think that this be something I would choose. Maybe I'll go a little bit farther on out into November. We'll check out 65, see what we get. 65, 33 open interest. Don't like that. The reason why I don't like it when it's so low, because it's easy manipulated, right? It'll come to January. January, we see 808. 808, the delta's at 44, the theta is at 3 cents. There's still a gap. Right, the gap is going to be like that wide because it's closed. The market is closed. But really, the open interest is really low. So if you wanted to hold on to, if you wanted to buy that open interest is too low for my taste. I would prefer something. If it said like 1,000, maybe 2,000, then I'll be like, okay, possible. But something like PayPal, sheesh. It's not allowing me to. I don't know why it's doing it. Why are you doing it? Something like PayPal, right? Like what did I say? I saw the October calls today. Yeah, it's showing something on here. I'm trying to remember. Right? See the open interest, 4,900. The volume 2,600. So you want something around those levels, right? And also when you're looking at an option contract, you don't want something that's already near 100% on the day. You want something that's like 5%, maybe 10%. That way it still shows that it has room to run. Once it starts going 100 and above, then the next day you're going to really anticipate it coming back down, right? So right now I wouldn't even say that Reddit would be on choice to buy as an option contract. Maybe to buy shares in, but not as an option. I started with DYN. DYN, that looks like a better purchase on shares, not so much on options. So, like, I would probably lean on that before I buy the option, just because, the option. And I'm like, once again, I'm not seeing the best numbers on my phone, which is kind of weird. Like, I usually see more than what it's giving me. So I probably have to do like a shutdown and restart type of thing. But yeah, still when I tap in, click on in, it's not showing a high amount of open interest, right? So all I'm doing is just doing one extra step. I'm just tapping in, looking at what the actual contract is saying, getting the details of the contract. Also, last thing, when it comes to these contracts, always, 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 always look at the chart, because the chart, and what I did, I bought the October, right? It was October. So the chart will always tell you, all right, what the where the price, show details, show the previous prices was at. So for this contract, the previous high was at $4.38. Well, where it was trading at today was in the deep low, like 50-cent area, right? So you could have bought a whole bunch of 50-cent contracts. It went up to $1, and you've been good on that. But remember, it did go up 114% on the day, right? So that's totally different than a contract that I was looking at, and I'm glad that this is up for discussion now. There's a contract that I was looking at that I wanted to buy, but I saw that it was already near its high. Today it made a new high at $4.03. Don't want to buy it. It made a new high already. So I wanted to come back. I wanted to retrace back. This doesn't expire until January, so I'm waiting for it to come back so I can buy some. So this is a metal company. So at the end of the day, these are the things I'm looking at before buying a stock, before putting my money into it. Like, I'm going through bar charts, I'm going through stock gurus. So you see PayPal is up a little bit after hours at $72, right? But I'm looking at these things, bar chart, Guru Focus, Finviz, to get a real full depth analysis on the fundamentals and then on the technicals. That way I'll be able to really choose if I want to get into this stock. I think what I bought today, which was Dell. I bought Dell today. Not a big fan. I said I didn't want to be in it too long because of these slight pullbacks like that. And it did do this slight pullback. I thought it would. I was hoping that it will also hold above 111, and it didn't. But it did hold above its 5 EMA price, which is $108.61. It also had good earnings. But at the same time, when we go to, when we come over here to Guru Focus, this is going to be the last because now it's almost 30 minutes. And when we come here to Guru Focus for Dell, right, you'll see a couple of things that I don't like. The score is relatively low, 62, right? The profitability, I remember, was the profitability and the financial strength were average. They were both at 5 and 5, right? The GF, if I even had an idea of what it really significantly means, it's at 1. It means, like, that's horrible. The growth is at 6, okay. Momentum is at 3. So these fundamentally, these are not the best, right? Not the best numbers. I purely bought it on a technical. That's why I said I did not want to hold it way too long, because it's not going to, I don't know how much in my favor is going to work out. When we look at bar chart, that even tells us, right, that even though it's a strong buy by 16 different analysts, what the hell? When it's a strong buy by 16 different analysts, 2 are holding, right? Technically, they were saying that it's a weak sell, right? So it's giving conflicting indicators, right? Fundamentally, it gave me something conflicting. Technically, it gave me something conflicting. The only thing was that it was a strong buy by some of these analysts. The technicals was trading above the 5 EMA, and its recent earnings was positive. The last thing that I'll show you is where it's trading, right? It's trading near its previous support, right? $9.50, let's just say. That's roughly $1 below. But its upside is almost $2, right? So its risk reward ratio is really in the favor of rewarding, right? So this is why I ended up buying this one, because I can see that there's some upside here. And if it breaks that 116 third level of resistance area, and we're saying that 110, right? 110.70, right? So we say 110.70 plus 15%. It's around 127. I picked the $130 call for Dell, right? Which was this one. Picked the $130 call. We see that not only the theta is 7, the open interest is about 2,500, 2,400, we should say. The volume was low today. That's fine. You don't need it to be super high today. My average cost is the average price, I should say, was $4.50. I bought 2 contracts of it, so I'm down 23 cents right now. That's fine. Don't mind that. The delta is okay at 23, but this contract expires in October, right? So if I really wanted to hold it beyond this week, I still have time for some upside. So I think that's fairly enough detail. And then look at the chart. Look at the option contracts chart, right? The highest is $55 a share, a contract. So if it does break this $5 area, if it does break this $5 area and even goes to like 6, I still have all this upside to gain until October, right? So that's why. And my biggest thing was this year, I said I wanted to find out how do I find the cheapest stock price, option contract price, and then I found it. This is the game changer that's going to help with finding cheap option contracts to hold longer to get the deepest reward. So I hope all of this helps. I think I've gone way longer than I anticipated. I'm going to stop it here, but I want to say thank you so much for just even listening for what I have to say. I'm trying to figure out how to stop the screen sharing, but if you have another stock that you want to look at, just let me know. I got you.